Oh, hey, hi there. Welcome to the introduction on the Leadership Huddle experience and how to achieve the best results. My name is Linda Bryant. I'm the leadership strategist and transition coach with Elevate Leadership Consulting. And I am here to support organizations and companies who are intentional around evaluating the leadership development and of their workforce at all levels and resulting in a culture that includes leadership investment and making a place of work a great place to work for everyone that is there. Over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to engage you in lively conversation. I'm going to teach you how to use the Leadership Huddle experience so that you finish strong with the best results. So if you want to grab a pencil and a piece of paper, we're going to get started. And if you are ready, we're going to get started now. As a leadership strategist and transition coach, my leadership experience has spanned across almost 3 decades of a career in human services. I've held numerous positions with companies such as Pillsbury United Communities as a director of multiple locations. I worked for Emerge Community Development as a vice president, HR liaison for many years, as well as the affirmative action officer. I have been an on-call director with housing programs, for example, Simpson Housing, the director of Collaborative Village with PPL Project for Pride in Living. And I've also had jobs in the private sector in terms of hospitality, Plaza Foods, where I was a lead clerk, the Marriott Hotel, as well as the Metrodome, which is no longer in existence here, as a concessions lead. My most recent job was the executive director of Hope for Youth, which was located in Anoka. All of that experience, all the combinations of all the experience and roles that I have had in leadership has made me into the person that I am today. So in addition to those responsibilities in my tenure, I've had the opportunity to sit and continue to sit on multiple boards and committees, PPL, Loring Nicollet, the MAC Commonwealth, Social Venture Partners, and Sisters of Synergy, just to name a few. In addition to that busy life that I've always had, throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to provide guidance and coaching and support to hundreds of individuals of all ages, colors, sizes, while in my role. So I've had the opportunity to be very well-versed and cultured in my work, and my experience of having the opportunity to work with many, many types of people is what has brought me great joy and is one of the things that I really, really enjoy about my job. My knowledge and education, I started out with trying to obtain an AA degree in teaching, and then found out that that was not for me. I wound up obtaining a BA in psychology instead from Metro State University. I have my master's in leadership and management from Capella University, and I completed a coaching certificate many years ago from the Coaches Training Institute, CTI. I think it's called something else now. That was about 15 or 20 years ago. And I've completed a year with Leadership Minneapolis and 2 years with the Executive Leadership Institute, which is hosted by Michigan State University. A few other skills and talents that I want to brag about and share with you that that I have added on my plate over time. I'm great as a project manager. I've been involved in several strategic planning processes. And in addition to all of that, I am a certified facilitating career development instructor, of which I have held that certification for 3 years, and the certificate for global career development facilitation for 15 years. And so basically with that certification, I teach other career focused positions like HR professionals, high school counselors, workforce coaches, MFEB practitioners, how to provide career development services to their clients. As the founder and CEO of Elevate Leadership Consulting, my mission has always been about developing the potential in people. That has been my focus for the last 25 years, and I continue on that path even now. I focus on leadership development because in my heart and soul, I believe that everyone has the potential to lead, and change management is an area that I often merge with the two, because we are constantly in a cycle of change, and it's so important for people to understand how change affects them as an individual, how change affects an organization, as well as how change affects their staff. And what a wonderful way to help people learn about change management is through understanding how transitions work. If I were to describe myself in my leadership style, I would say it's a combination of servant and situational leadership. It's the style that I am composed of, and I build that style in terms of, like, I see it as 4 principles that kind of like ground me, and it shows up in my work and my leadership every day, whether I'm at home, at work, or at play. I'm an individual, and I always have been an individual and known for being a person that thinks outside the box. So never afraid of trying something new or being really creative. That's what situational and servant leadership is about. I'm great at creating a relationship around trust, and being transparent and crystal clear with people is what develops trust when you're in a leadership role or position. Some people may call that being direct, but directness is about clarity, and it is about transparency. And most importantly, is key to leadership development when you're a leader. People won't trust you if you can't be clear and transparent with them. I think a third principle, I am selfless, I am not selfish. And it's about those individuals who support me and trust me enough to allow me the privilege to provide them with leadership. It's always been about the staff. It's always about the participant. It's always about the customer, and how can I give them my best and my best experience. And then making it a priority to develop the next generation of leaders. If you're going to be a great leader, you'll have to focus on, how are you developing other people? How are you engaging and identifying and then motivating their leadership potential. My goal has always been to work myself out of a job. It's not to keep my job forever, and to get people up to the speed where, if you can do the work that I do, then I'm preparing you for the next level up. My servant leadership style is something that I grew into. And then my situational leadership style is something I happened upon by accident, as I went from learning to supervise one person to learning how to supervise others. And that included more than one person at a time. I believe that there is no one cookie cutter way to supervise a group of people. Each situation is different. And once you learn about situational leadership and how you can apply that to every single person that you supervise, whether it's 5 or whether it's 20, it can be done. And it all goes back and builds up to those 4 principles that are so important to not situational leadership, but to servant leadership. They both start with S's. I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up, but they're both very important to me as a leader. So what I do is I create valuable content which supports leadership development. And I do that based on my education and training, the implementation and creation of best practices that I've taught others. And that's based off of things that I may have learned and have changed them and perfected them and kind of shaped them into my own. And the successes that I have had over and over again with others for a long period of time. And I consult and I coach and I provide training to organizations who contact me regarding a challenge that they may be faced with in terms of their workforce or leadership or their own professional development. In addition, I am the host and the moderator for all the webinars. And on occasion, I might invite a special guest. You never know. Stay tuned. Some of the webinars that I conduct are live, but many are pre-recorded. And in addition, I create free lives on Facebook. And if you stay tuned, I will soon start providing I'll be providing lives on Facebook around leadership development and just Q&A sections. And the Q&A sections are so important because everyone does not afford the opportunity to participate in leadership development trainings, webinars, and workshops. And I want to give other people the opportunity to also learn and develop right along with others. Who I provide services and support to include executives that are new in their role or maybe transitioning out of their roles, people that are current leaders or seasoned leaders. They've been around for a while and they just they want to update or a refresher. Emerging leaders, or in other words, employee workforce at all levels of organization, that people may identify as leaders and could benefit from leadership development early on as they're being positioned or coined for higher level positions and responsibilities. But I don't just limit myself to like one group because I believe that everyone can benefit in some way, shape, or form in terms of developing their leadership potential. I have a few other product components in the works besides the Leadership Huddle experience, and that includes the Leadership Master Training, which is currently in process, and that's a 6-month training that I do in terms of leadership development. And then I provide new executive leadership coaching and then done for you services for organizations. And those are services that are really tied around like projects. They're project based and time sensitive for organizations based on what experiences and expertise I can bring to the table to support them. But I'm here really, I want to make sure that you understand about the Leadership Huddle experience in which you have signed up for and what it consists of. So the number one thing important to explain is the webinar workshops, which I call web shops. It's a combination of webinar and workshop together, and those will last anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes. Those are interactive, engaging workshops that tend to and lend to give you valuable information, experience, strategies, and pose questions to you as a leader and as you are developing yourself as a leader. Each workshop is time released. There's a module that's released each week or each month, depending on the program that you're signed up for and you're in. They're released on Mondays of the previous week so that you have around 7 or 8 days to implement your new learning or implement learning that you find interesting that you want to start right away. And then most importantly, they're not timed in terms of when you have to watch them. They come to you through a portal called Kajabi, which is a learning management system. And then you can click on the videos that you want to watch at your leisure. I would recommend that you schedule time to do that each week once you sign up for the Leadership Huddle experience. Sorry. You can also 30 to 40 minutes, you can watch them while you're eating lunch. It'll be a great lunch and learn for yourself. And then make sure that you watch the videos before each weekly huddle, because there'll be information that is shared between myself and other huddle teammates that'll be important and relate to those videos that are being sent out, or some of them, or maybe 2 of them, if we have the time. The weekly or monthly huddles are required once you're registered to be in attendance at. Those huddles are recorded because I know that things happen. Life happens. You may be late. You may have to leave early. but they are recorded so that you have the opportunity to go back into the Kajabi system and click on the information that the session that you may have missed, or maybe you missed a part of. And then I also do that to make that available to you, because you may, it's for future use or access during the 5 weeks or the 5-month course in which you are in the Huddle experience. Also, this is used to give feedback, to go back and revisit feedback from me regarding any challenges or implementations that you may have, and then other solutions that may have been given to you during the Huddle session by your teammates. And so I found that when I was in this style of group format, that oftentimes I would gain so much valuable experience from others that were having experiences like I have, or they have overcome those challenges and figured out ways to do that. The 90 minutes that we spend together in the Huddle is scheduled once a week. The topics that are discussed and challenges that will be brought to the table support everyone, because there are experiences either you may have had in your leadership role, you will have in your leadership role, or or you may be going through it now. And so there's very few of those instances in which there's like an anomaly that this will never ever happen for you in terms of leadership development. And then it'll be also an opportunity to provide update on how things are going. How did things go when you implemented a strategy? How is this experience working for you? And what do you need to continue to get out of it? The other thing is to share the strategies that you're learning and implementing, and discuss the challenges that may come out of those strategies and implementation, and use your opportunity each week to ask questions. Like, for example, what changed for you as a result of implementing a new strategy? Oftentimes people don't have the opportunity to talk about that. Maybe there's an aspect of the strategy in which you might want to do differently because your situation is different than others. And that's a learning experience that everyone can benefit from. It's also the opportunity to bring challenges or issues to discuss or resolve as a team. And also, it provides leadership in in terms of challenges that you're going to be facing. In addition to the webinar workshops, you'll also receive a web shop handbook. It's for taking notes, because we want to keep all your notes in one place. There's a web shop for that, staying organized. It's, take notes on important information you want to jot down and remember for later. During your week or 7 days between each huddle, jot down feelings and feedback from other people that you're getting as you're implementing these processes. It's going to be important that you keep everything in one place, because when you are organized, you are saving time. You spend a whole lot of time running around looking for stuff. So my job is to also continue to stay the course and help you be organized. And then there's a journey journaling implementation part of the web shop book, which is for your reflection, writing down challenges and processes of improvement that you have. Because continuous evaluation is a process. Continuously every week asking yourself this question: what is going well? What didn't go well? And what would you change or do differently the next time? Because you want to take these strategies, and as you turn them into processes, you want to make sure that you are continuously tweaking them, because the more you tweak and change them, the better they are for you. And then they no longer become my strategies that I shared with you. They turn into your strategies and processes now that become a part of your leadership style and the culture of your unit or division, and hopefully the culture of your organization. So, to get the best benefits and the most benefit out of the Leadership Huddle experience, watch the videos. Make sure you set aside time before the huddle to do that. Make sure you set aside enough time to watch the videos to implement a strategy that you can come to the huddle to chat about. I want you to implement the strategies. That's going to be important. Don't just watch the videos. Don't just jot down some notes. Take something that you like and try it out. If you can't implement the whole entire strategy, take a part of it and see how you can implement it and see how it works for you. What are the results when you implement those strategies? Because if you don't implement the strategies, you won't see the same successes that people have told me that has worked for them, and that I've also seen work for them, and that I also know has worked for myself. So learning by doing is important because it connects you to exactly what you are learning and what the intended results are to be. So try it, document it, and evaluate it. Those three things. And make sure you use those continuous evaluation questions that are part of the process, and you will find those in your web book. Now, I want to reiterate with you that you want to make time to attend the huddles. They happen weekly for some and monthly for others, depending on the program that you signed up and you're registered for. They're 90 minutes in length, so make sure you block out the time on your calendar. You'll receive a notification from me that gives you all of this information, including the links for the webinars that you will receive on the day of the webinars. So the, not the webinars, but the huddles. The webinars will just come into your inbox through Kajabi, and you can look at them at your leisure. But the links, the Zoom links for the huddles, they will come to you during the day for you to click on. And then remember that group coaching with me, an experienced and talented leader that I am, is of great benefit and value to you. And the group coaching model that I use significantly reduces the costs associated with coaching, that you would have if you had the opportunity to coach with me one-to-one, making this affordable for everyone in terms of an offer, because I'm giving you so much great value. Everyone is learning and learning from each other as part of this experience, as well as myself. And as an experienced leader, I'm constantly learning. And then remember, the important thing is that when you're in the huddles, that you are developing a network of support inside the huddle circle and teams, colleagues, and friends outside. Now, as we come to the end, if you have questions, feel free to email me at elconsulting8@gmail.com. You can also call me for support, and I can be reached at 612-245-6154. You can leave a message or you can text me, and I will follow up. Sometimes it may take me 24 to 48 hours to return your call or text. But just note that you may have a situation or a challenge that you're being faced with that I may find would be a great learning experience for everyone, and want to share that challenge at the huddle as part of our experience. So what I would like for you to do next, hey, click and watch another video. I want you to implement something new that you learned and make sure you document it. The more you document, the more you'll have to talk about when you come to the weekly huddles. And I want you to join the team huddles each week or month as scheduled. Bring your questions, use this time to address implementation challenges that you have and that you may encounter, and then get the, take advantage of the opportunity to learn and work along fellow teammates, because there is so much value in networking and connecting with other people that are having shared experiences. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for your most valuable resource, your time. And I'd like to leave you with a leadership quote for the day today. And what comes to mind is, none of us is as smart as all of us. None of us is as smart as all of us. Guess who wrote this? Ken Blanchard. I believe it's Ken Blanchard is his last name. And he was the author of The 1 Minute Manager. And if you haven't read that book, it is a great read. Read it if you're looking for more tips on leadership and leadership development and how to manage people. And if I didn't say it before, again, thank you. And you know what? I wish you the best, and I want you to have a great day. Bye.